Get ready to see the aftermath of eating habits that have spiraled out of control as Assignment Discovery joins a brave collection of people who are overcoming eating disorders.
First, we'll follow the extraordinary lengths one man must take to overcome a lifetime of weight problems in After Obesity.
And we'll see how a distorted body image can lead some people to undergo dangerous weight loss in Confronting Anorexia.
We're dissecting diets and examining eating disorders, coming up next.
As you watch the first half of this program, keep these questions in mind.
What physical and emotional problems may be associated with obesity?
How can surgery help people with obesity?
Obesity is a medical condition characterized by the storage of excess body fat. In addition to a variety of health problems, many obese people often face social and psychological stresses thanks to others' opinions. Stereotypes about overweight people can contribute to discrimination in education and employment and problems in relationships.
How does American society treat overweight people?
I think people who are overweight are discriminated against, generally.
I think in schools it can be a harsh environment and the kids can be made fun of a lot for their weight.
Especially with young people, they struggle going through school, so it's getting teased and picked on, and I think it becomes like a lifelong problem.
If you have a company that is based on physical appearance, that you have to present yourself out there, I'm sure that's jobs that they will not be able to get.
I think that heavy people get made fun of a lot. It's not really, looks can be deceiving. Like you can find someone who's heavy be a lot nicer than someone who's skinny. I think that people judge people by their looks way too much, and you shouldn't judge people like that.
When you look in a mirror, what do you see? Chances are you don't see a supermodel looking back at you. Images of beautiful people surround us, often making us feel inadequate. The desire to have a better body is intense, and if you're overweight, a trim body can be an elusive goal. And if you're obese, diet and exercise may deliver only marginal success. For these people, surgery becomes a last resort option to fit into a society where body image is important.
My God, you turn on the TV and the beautiful people are marching at you all the time. At what point do you say, okay, not everybody's supposed to look perfect naked, but what is perfect or what is good enough?
Brad Ryan is 27 and he lives in Denver, Colorado. He has struggled with obesity for most of his life.
When I look in the mirror, I just see fat. I see saggy, grossness.
Brad has seen this image staring back at him for as long as he can remember. His battle with weight began early in life.
You know, in elementary school, you know, you're overweight and you have to wear the husky pants.
His friends and family remember his lifelong struggle.
Growing up in the same neighborhood as him and seeing him through the years, he was always a little overweight, a little bigger, and had a healthy appetite. That was Brad.
I just remember looking at him in the second grade and looking over at him, and I saw this picture in my head, and he had this little belly, you know, and I just remember, God, my brother's getting fat, you know, but everybody always thought that he would grow out of it, and he just never did.
As Brad's weight grew, it began to affect his self-image. He felt uncomfortable around other kids.
A vivid memory of elementary school was having a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, but no real close friends. And I look back on that now and I wish I had more closer friends.
At home, food was a natural part of family life.
With a lot of families, and ours is no different. It was, you get good grades, well, you go out to eat. It seemed that food always had this positive reinforcement to it. Do good here, we'll go out to eat and celebrate.
Brad began to eat more to fill the emptiness left by other things missing in his life.
Food was positive reinforcement, it was love.
Brad's parents knew he was gaining weight, but they never thought it would get out of control.
He just didn't gain 50 pounds overnight. It was over a long period of time. So you just didn't pay as much attention to it, or you tried to, maybe being as parents, we should have changed his eating habits. I don't know. But it's just like I was waiting for him to get taller because I thought he would eventually grow into his size.
Brad stopped growing taller, but he continued to gain weight. By the time he was 13, he weighed 200 pounds, well above the normal weight for his age. His size made him feel different from his classmates.
I was definitely aware because, people in elementary school and kids in junior high, they're not kind to stuff like that.
Over the years, Brad continued to gain weight. In high school, he reached 280 pounds.
I think any high school male, going through the changes that you're going through, there's some self-esteem issues, and me being where I was and being, so much fatter than the other kids, probably wasn't good self-esteem, I would imagine.
Brad's high school classmates remember how he tried to deflect attention away from his body.
I remember him as being very outgoing and funny.
When you're funny, it doesn't matter what you look like, because, if you can make people laugh, they're going to accept you no matter what.
I think that's where my sense of humor got developed. I'd rather break the ice with a joke and take the attention away from myself and more towards my personality. It was definitely a struggle. Definitely a struggle.
Brad's eating habits continued to get worse as his weight climbed. His closest friends began to worry about his health.
We both did the up and down weight problem that most people do who have weight issues. They lose weight and gain it back, and usually when they gain it back, they gain extra. And then they lose a little bit and come back up, and it just kind of keeps going up and up. And Brad was a lot heavier than, he was about 100 pounds heavier than I am. And so he was just getting to the point where it was getting dangerous.
At age 25, Brad exceeded 300 pounds. At more than 100 pounds above his ideal weight, Brad became part of a national epidemic, joining the more than 60 million adults in America who are clinically obese. Without drastic weight reduction, Brad faced an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and even death. And yet, despite the serious risks to Brad's health, other factors weighed more heavily on his mind.
The way society views an obese person, you're viewed as lazy and disgusting. Get away from me, you're fat. And if nobody else accepts you, how can you have pride in yourself? How can you say, I'm worth it, when you're constantly, being suggested that you're not?
By age 27, Brad had reached 330 pounds, his heaviest weight ever.
Oh, it was definitely the lowest point in my life. I had to sleep in my bed, or just laying in bed. Didn't want to get out. I hated being in public, I do all my grocery shopping in the middle of the night, because I didn't want to deal with people.
He was so heavy, so unhappy. He had tried, the normal routes to lose weight, and didn't really have any impact. So, I was really afraid that he was going to try to hurt himself, even possibly suicidal.
All of a sudden, it started this roll of depression. And then we all know what depression leads to for obese people. It's overeating.
Desperate to lose the weight, Brad decided to take a drastic step to finally change the course of his life. Brad decided to have gastric bypass surgery, reaching the same decision thousands of morbidly obese people reach every year in the United States.
Here's a diet you can't turn off. It addresses portion controls, it addresses sugar intake. It was definitely the right decision for me. Is it the right decision for everybody? Probably not. But for me, it's almost like antabuse for an alcoholic.